अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजानन महर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी। विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। या देवी स्तूयते नित्यं विबुधैर्वेदपारगैः सा मे वसतु जिह्वाग्रे ब्रह्मरूपा सरस्वती। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Namaskar and welcome and suswagatam to all of you to Rama Rama, a series of webinars brought to you by Heritage, Indica and the Centre for SoftPower. This is in celebration of Rama, the Ramayana, Hanuman, Sita, and every character that the Ramayana has described and portrayed. Rama has been called as Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. Rama is a personification of Dharma. Yesterday we heard all about the pancha maha yagnas, which are a framework for life, and how even Rama, the epitome of Dharma, followed these principles that have been set out for every Sanathana Dharma follower. Actually, it's for anybody who is a human being to follow. I won't dwell much on that because we've already heard it yesterday, but I just felt that I have to share at least those few sentences about it. This series will include a variety of topics and speakers from different backgrounds who have been touched and inspired by this epic Shrimad Valmiki Ramayana, which we call itihaasa, which means itihaasa. There has been a lot of discussion about dating the Ramayana. Is it true? Is it just a story? Is it Valmiki's figment of imagination, etc., etc., etc.? But I don't think any of that is relevant at all, because as long as Rama is in our thoughts and Ramayana we know, Rama and Ramayana exist. So this whole debate, as far as I'm concerned, we can take it forward, but it doesn't really matter to us. So the Valmiki Ramayana has no borders of geography and has traversed the world. It has inspired many other works in many languages, and in many countries it finds pride of place. So today we have with us two people, Srimati Anita Bose and Kun Akarin Pongpandecha, both who are going to talk to us about Ramayana that has crossed beyond the borders of India, across to Southeast Asia. And they're going to talk about the Ramayana in the arts. So before I hand over the proceedings to Arunima Gupta to introduce our speakers of today, I would like that we all can chant together Ramanavami. We will do it 12 times. Sri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Sri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Sri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Sri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Sri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri 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 Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Arunima?
Thank you so much, Akka, for a lovely start to this program. Namaste, everybody. I welcome you all, and I welcome the speakers today. The first presentation will be by Mrs. Anita Bose. She's an author, artist, and independent researcher currently based out of Thailand. She's associated with the Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture at Gold Park, also with the Asian Studies Center at Chulalongkorn University in Thailand. She's a guide of the National Museum in Bangkok and has been a former convener of the Global Encyclopedia of the Ramayana project under the Ministry of Culture in India. Welcome you, Anita ji. We look forward to your presentation.
Thank you so much, Vijayalakshmi ji, and thank you so much, Arunima ji, for beautiful, what can I say, it's a so nice chanting, and which is give a really pure, whole the situation is so pure that it's a perfect situation for telling something about Rama. And today is Ekadashi also. So in this Ekadashi, we are doing Ram Nam Sankirtan in our home too. So Ramayo, Ramachandrayo, Ramabhadrayo, Vedhase, Raghunathayo, Nathayo, Sitaya Pataye Namo. So when Vijayalakshmi ji told me about to say something about the art of related, which is related with the Ramayana and how it is in Southeast Asia, I know it's a big subject, and Akarin also here. So I don't go to the performing art because I know Akarin is a master about that. I am telling you something different like that, how this Ramayana crossed the border and came to our this part of the land, and how the Rama with the arrow and the bow, he is represent in front of the National Museum, Bangkok. The king take the name as the Rama, Rama 1, Rama 2, Rama 3.
Anita,
How they
please
that
make it in slideshow.
okay, sorry. Okay. Is it okay?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So how the king take the oath in the name of Rama, how still Ramayana is so important in these countries. I think many of you know the old connection with India and Southeast Asia. It's almost more than 2000 years ago. The traders were there, the Indian Brahmins are there, the philosophy, the Bharatiya darshan was there and highly appreciated. But it is very surprising between many years, there is a gap. So we don't know even that our neighboring countries, we know the history of Europe, we know the history of America, we know the history of many other parts, but we never knew about our own neighboring countries. It's a fortunate moment for me also that when I came to in 2014 and I saw this idol in front of our National Museum, Bangkok, and it's changed many things for my life. And I think it's many of you also when you see the picture and so when you see the slides. So how Ramayana in the art piece of Thailand, Southeast Asia, the Laos, the Indonesia, and many more countries. I just give a quick picture. You can say it's a pictography. You can see that. So here, this is the first one. It is a Rama, the Lakshmana and the Rama when they attacked by Ravana. It's a beautiful art pieces made by metal in the National Museum, Bangkok, and all the monkeys are they are lying down. So this is a one beautiful piece which are inside the Bangkok National Museum. We have very different type of paintings. We have different type of lacquer work. Lacquer work is very famous in Southeast Asia. So Rama story in a different type of lacquer ware wood carving and the wood carving. So we have many wood carving and many lacquerware instrument, and then almirah, and then the set of different type of painting also. So here you can see this beautiful almirah is just well carved by the Ramayana story. There are so many different type of 376 lacquerware cabinets held in the National Library of Thailand, and few are in our National Museum. Here you can see these beautiful cabinets are painted. This is the painting, the lacquerware painting, where depicted that how Ramayana is known here. Here Ramayana is known as the Ramakian or Ramakirti. And this, very interestingly, these cabinets are used for the Buddhist monks. Their robe, and then the Tripitaka Grantha, they put it inside, but the outside the cabinet is covered by the Ramayana story. And Hanumanji is very interesting character here. Hanumanji is not like a god, just like we are devoted to him, we worshipped him. But here it is not like a god, but he is very heroic. And when the Royal Thai army also go for a war or like that, they put this flag, this black, the golden flag, in front of their main army procession. So they do it. And this is the Khan mask, and how the mask is very important for whole Southeast Asian culture. And the Ramayana is one big part. And this is our room, the mask room in the National Museum, Bangkok. And there are different type of mask which is related with Ramayana, you can see. Now, it's a very quick journey because I have a very short time. So this is the Ramayana in the Indonesian art. So this beautiful Ram in Indonesia, in the Bali, there is a beautiful Ramayana park, and it's such a nice Rama is there. The Indonesia have their own Ramayana also. Their Ramayana is known as the Kakabin Ramayana. There is some beautiful painting here, 178 mural painting in the Grand Palace of Bangkok also. I forgot to share it before. So this is a beautiful painting where you can see that Ravana abducted Sita, Rama and Lakshmana meet the Jatayu. And this is the modern painting. So modern painting also have some different type of style, but it is followed the Ramayana story in Thailand. And this is the Ramayana in a stone art in Phimai Palace. Phimai is actually the city of Bhima, the Bhimayapura. From Bhimayapura, it is the city of Phimai. And in their palace, their lintel, their pillars, everything is made by the Ramayana. And the Thailand believe that their king is Rama, is a Vishnu, the incarnation of Vishnu. And when he died, the King Rama IX died, they made this Vishnu Loka. They make this Vishnu Loka because they believed that their king will be returned to Vishnu Loka. And this is the leather art, leather puppet art in Thailand, which is related with the Ramayana. And this is a very old map of Indonesia. When I went to Jakarta Museum, they have that map, and it is depicted that how the Indian influence is reached there in a very significant way. And this is, they can say that Ramayana is our identity. So this one is a very ancient coin from 14th century. I got it from the Traulan Museum. And this Rama and Sita pen stand from Surabaya is a high-end mall. And you don't believe that the whole mall, they have the gift shop, and that gift shop is full with the Ramayana and the Mahabharata related thing. And this one is the one of the greatest show in the Jogjakarta. It's not in Bali. I'm not telling about the Bali, but it is the Jakarta and Jogjakarta. And this Ram Leela there is continuous. Unless the COVID is coming, they don't stop for a single day. And every day Ramayana performance happen in the Prambanan, Java, and the temple in the Bali of the temple of the Bali, the Ubud Prasad also there. And there in the Prambanan temple, there are beautiful 5 Hindu temple. There is the second most important Hindu temple in Southeast Asia. And they have so many sculpture in the Ramayana in Indonesia. And this is the beautiful Hanuman. It's very rare. This type of Hanuman I never seen before. It's a 14th century Hanumanji from Traulan Museum from Yogyakarta. So this is the Rama art. This is in the Jakarta. And this is also the Javanese manuscript. In that Javanese manuscript, the Ramayana is depicted. And mostly importantly, the two incidents. One is the golden deer, and one is the abduction of the Sita, is famous all over the world. So Rama in the Surah, this type of biggest murti in the roadside of the Indonesia is very available. Now this is a Rama and the Ravana in the painting, and what is they called in their local language is depicted there. This picture is not very clear, but it is from Malaysia. There is a Batu cave, you all know the Komben cave, Batu cave, and there is a biggest Marugan Murti. And inside that cave, there is all the Ramayana gallery. And nowadays, Malaysia is not so much famous for the Ramayana. After 1970, there is a political changes, and but it was once upon a time, same as like Thailand and Indonesia. This is the Rama and the Ravana from Lao. That Lao Ramayana is known Pralak and Pralam, and they also have beautiful paintings in their palace. This is the palace of the Paksi in Champashak, one on another part of the Lao, and we were there in 2017, and I was really amazed to see the whole palace. The ceiling is painted by the Ramayana story. And Lao also very famous for their the wood carving, the golden wood carving. And this is the Wat Zien temple. It's a Buddhist temple, but the whole temple wood carving by the Ramayana. And it's very quick going to the Cambodia, because I did research on the 8 countries, and this is the first Valmiki. I don't see this thing in our country also, that the first sloka of the Ramayana depicted in the stone in the Cambodia. This is known as the Valmiki temple in Cambodia. This is the Rama and Ravana and the fighting scene, and this from the Wat Bawon in Cambodia. And this beautiful Bali and Sugriva is a fighting as a sculpture in the Bante Seri temple in Cambodia. The fashion designing, the jewelry, the dress designing still follow that Rama story from Angkor Wat, and the new generation also continue the inner spirit of that. And in the Myanmar also, there is a different type of Ramayana, 13 Ramayana in Burma, in Ramayana, and the Burma have also their own type of Ram Leela, which is known as the Jatwa or Jatwa. And there is a Parabaik, the manuscript painting, which is a Burmese manuscript painting. There is a 47 story in Ramayana in their manuscript painting. And the carving, it is known as the silver repose work. So that work is very famous in Burma. They have different type of bowl, and those bowls are depicted the story of the Ramayana. Even in the Philippines, I was amazed to see in the 2016, they came to Bangkok for the Ramayana festival. The Ramayana footprints in their country also, they have 3 types of different type of Ramayana. One is the literary, one is the singing, and another one is like a drama. This is the Hudhud. There's an intangible cultural heritage of the Hudhud. Hudhud is one type of chanting. When they are doing the harvesting, they chant. And the Juan Francisco, who was the greatest Indologist of Philippines, he revived that this chanting is mixed up the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. And now the last one is the greatest Hindu colony of the Southeast Asia we already forgot about that, the Champa. And those Champa have so many different type of Hindu gods and goddess and temples. And they have also their own Ramayana is known Fralak, Fralam, Fradit, Adit means sun. So they have that Ramayana. Here you can see most are almost gone, but few are there. This is the Ravana in one temple known as the Chiandan, and this is the Sita, Mother Sita in the Ashokban. It's depicted, and this one is a very huge Shivalinga. This Shivalinga is in the Trakyu Danang Museum, and that the whole Ramayana story, especially the marriage ceremony of the Ramayana, is depicted in the altar of the Shivalinga. So there is a 11th to 12th centuries Chandan temple. The Cham ethnic Brahmins are there, and there are few things related today also. So this is the Hanuman in Cham, the modern day, And this is a modern painting of the chant Ramayana. And so it's a very quick thing. And I think I try to show everything which is related with Ramayana in Southeast Asia. And thank you so much. And I try to put all those stories in my book in Ramayana footprints in Southeast Asian countries. Thank you so much, Indica, to giving me a chance.
Thank you very much, Anita ji. It was a beautiful visual journey of Ramayana in Southeast Asia.
Thank you so much.
Really commendable on the vast aspects that you covered of Ramayana across countries. Thank you once more. With that, I would like to now welcome our next speaker, Kun Akiran. He's a classical Thai mask performer known as Kon, and he's an instructor specialized in Titans, which is Asura Rakshasa based performances. He holds a PhD with a specialization in cultural heritage management and tourism, and Master of Performing Arts in Thai classical dance. He's currently working as an adjunct lecturer at the International College of Sustainability of Sri Rama University. I hope I got that pronunciation right. And the Faculty of Dramatic Arts of Bundit Patana Silipa Institute of Fine Arts. He's also a freelance artist. He specializes in the sacred Veerabhadra ritual dance, the sacred Vishnu's elephant capturing dance. He's also a researcher in sacred dances in relation to Hinduism and Bharatanatyam. And he has basic level student training in Bharatanatyam as well as Northern Thai sacred war drum training. Very excited to hear your insights, Kiran. Welcome once again. Over to you.
Good evening, all honorable participants today. And I've been very honored to receive this opportunity to share some of my knowledge, and also with my colleague Anita tonight, with the Center of the Indian Soft Power. And soft power these days is very much talked about, and certainly through my research, I believe that Ramayana could be a very powerful soft power, not only for India, but for Southeast Asia. And if we can only bring the true value of Ramayana and promote to everyone who would be interested to know the story of Rama and take him as an example of what a human being should be in this world, I think the world would be at peace and a lot more beautiful than now. So let me share my screen. Just a moment, please. So the presentation I prepare. And some of the things that I'm going to share tonight, I think it would be kind of duplicated what Anita has said, but I will try my best to try to focus in the area of Ramayana and influence to Thailand through performing art. So the topic today I use is Rama in Siam Desha, because actually when we talk about Thailand, is a bit nationalist term to me, because Siam is not only it doesn't only comprise of Thai people, but it comprises of so many races since the history, prehistoric until the present day. So the other day, I delivered my class to my student at Sri Rama University, and I asked my student who dare to show themselves as a true Thai or a pure Thai, and none of them could defend the point that I tried to point out to them, because the recent DNA test conducted by Chiang Mai University and Ubon Ratchathani University, the Faculty of Science, revealed that most of Thai people, Thai men in central Thailand, are of Mon origin. So 75% of us has Mon blood. And I'm going to tell you a bit more about Mon people later on, who they are, and are they still here in Thailand. Just a moment. Okay, just a moment, please. Okay. So this piece, I believe probably Kun Anita have seen already. The figure on the left is said to be the oldest Vishnu statue or icon found in Thailand, and it's of 8th century. And art historians like my colleague Professor Chet Ting Sanchli believe it's a mixture of the art from the Chola and Pallava art school, and he was found in Phang, right? And on the right is of Sivijaya art school, and he was found at Vieng Sa, Surat Thani, round about the same time. And these are 3 sets of very important figure as well, Hindu gods from Vieng Sa. And you can see on the left side, that is Bhairava, and in the center, that is Surya, and on the right is Vishnu. So there are 4 main figures found and worshipped at very early stage of Thailand when the Indian people arrived to this region. And that's also found in Surat Thani, the southern Thailand. Vishnu, both of them, in Surat Thani. Right. So I'm just going to skip through this. This is basically Vishnu icons that has been found in Thailand. A lot of them, and it really indicates that probably the Hindu people Indian people that arrived in this region, they were of Vaishnavi sects. And that show the route where they landed on the western side of Thailand, and that's Phuket. You probably know about this place, famous tourist city, and that's how they journey across the peninsula to the eastern side to Surat Thani and settle there. And many icons are found along this route, and most of them were of Vishnu. The next period I would like to mention about, and this is a very important period, and I think this is where actually Vishnu and Rama, along with Krishna, were introduced to Thailand in a substantial volume, right? Particularly the towns called Sitep, and Sitep is now in Phetchabun province, somewhere in central Thailand, a bit north up towards the northeastern part of Thailand. And Sitep is a town constructed in Dvaravati period. Well, Dvaravati period around 7th to 8th century. If you notice the name, Dvaravati derived from the term Dvaraka, right? And it was believed to be of Mon civilization. Well, the Mon people, they claim that they came from Kalinga state, or today Odisha, and then they sail along the coast and then settle in Suvarnabhumi or the South Indochina region today. So another term that they call themselves as Ramanya people. Some of the Mon scholars believe Ramanya derived from the term son of Rama. And so together with the Dvaraka and son of Rama, obviously they were not only Buddhist, but they were also of the Vaishnavist Hindu origin, right? In Sitep town, it's very interesting that the archaeologists found 8 Surya images from 6th to 8th century, and so it makes Sitep the only Hindu sanctuary outside India with the most Surya images found, right? And it's very interesting that the reason why a lot of Surya images were found there, and not only Surya, I could not get the whole of the picture of Krishna holding the mountain Kowatana. I could not find it. So, but there was one there as well. So obviously, Sitevs worship originally in Dvarati period, Suryas and Krishna and Vishnu. Right. So this is just some term I would like to amplify to you. Dvarati derived from Dvaraka, the lost city of Krishna, and the Mon or Ramanya race. Well, Ramanya has two kind of meaning according to my understanding. Ramanya could come from Rama and Naya, which means the symbol or the meaning of Rama or children of Rama, right? And the Mon people or Ramanya people, they came from Kalinga state, right? Therefore, their country were known as Ramanya Desha in the early state. Right. These are three of the Surya figures, icons found in Siteb town. Actually, there were 8 of them, but the others is gone to another country, smuggled out. So we only have like 3 left now at the moment in Thailand. But anyway, Suryas were there for a significant meaning, and I think you all know or realize, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think Rama is descendant of Surya. He was in both Surya Vamsa and Chandra Vamsa. So both the sun and the moon god were of his ancestor. And in many, there's many times that we found that Rama also worshipped Surya. And this is a gold plate of Vishnu, also from Siteb, and been smuggled out of the country as well. This is the main sanctuary. Actually, the sanctuary you see here used to hold the central one used to hold Shiva Lingam, and on the small one on the right used to hold the divine cow Nanti, right? But actually, archaeologists suggest that this building used to hold the image of Surya before. And if you can see here, this path, this was where archaeologists found all the figures of Surya buried underneath. So what does that mean? It means that in Mon period, these sanctuaries were used in Vaishnavist sects and worship Surya as well as Vishnu. But later on, when the Khmer Empire expanded their power into this region, into this town, they demolished or they removed image of Surya and buried them under this path and placed Shivlingam in there instead. This is the mountains standing as background of Siteb. So it's like the principal stupa behind of the other stupa leading to the ancient town itself. It's known as Tamolat Mountain, and within this mountain, on top of the mountain, there's a cave, and I went with my professor there once. Took me 2 hours to climb up there, and that's the Buddha image carved onto the cave wall. But this one is interesting. There are figures of men with 4 hands. Well, it could be Bodhisattva, and it could also be Vishnu. There's some scriptures written on the wall of this cave indicate that there have been people pilgrim to this cave and worship these figures for over thousands of years. Well, now let's move on to the dancing part. Right, we all know already that Rama and Vishnu were very well established in this region, particularly in Dvarati period. Dvarati people worship both Buddhism and also Hindu, and I would conclude that the Hindu sect that they worship was Vaishnavism. This is also a bas relief displayed now in Utong National Museum, and it's also of the Dvaravati art. And you may notice that the posture is quite familiar to you all. in India. Can you start to see it clearly now? How closely related this bas relief to all this dance position, right? And I think these positions is known as the elephant tusk, right? And I think this is from not Bharatanatyam, but from Odissi dance. Now we can notice also, since the Mon people came from Odisha, right? Kalinka, it is not surprise to me why the bas relief depict this dancer in Odisha position rather than Bharatanatyam, right? So I may also conclude now, the oldest dance in Thailand or in Siam was Odissi, and it came to this region, to this country with the Mon people or the original people of Odisha. This is the plan of the sea tape. You can see this is the west, north, and east. And from sea tape, let's move on to Ayutthaya. Right. Many people reject my idea that Ayutthaya or sea tapes is related, but I would like you all to listen to my suggestion, and it's just up to you to make decision whether these things relate or not. Let's look at the name. And I said from sea tape to Ayutthaya or to Ratanakosin. Right. Well, the first term I would like to introduce you is Krung Ayutthaya, right? Krung, I think this is of Mon and Khmer word, and Krung means city, as Nagara in Sanskrit, right? Then there's a term used to call Ayutthaya as Krung Thep Thawaravati Si Ayutthaya. That's in Thai pronunciation. But if I try to my poor attempt in translating it to Sanskrit, it would be Krung Deva Devaravati Sri Ayodhya, right? So both name Devaraga and Ayodhya combined as the name of Ayutthaya, right? So in translation, it would be Devaraga and Ayodhya, the city of angel, which represent Ayutthaya, right? And that's the reason why Ayutthayan king include the name Devaravati in the name of Ayutthaya. And to my understanding, because Devaravati people were their ancestor. So Ayutthaya was just the children of Devaravati, right? That here, let's see another name that's used to call Ayutthaya, and I really like this name. They call Ayutthaya Sri Ram Tep Nakhon. So Ayodhya Sri Rama Deva Nagara. Right? It means Ayodhya, the city of God Rama. Right? When we omit Ayodhya, the city of Rama, and we only use the term Si and Deva, it became Si Tep. So my suggestions is Si Tep used to be the oldest Ayodhya and belonged to the Mon people, and probably older than Nakhon Chai, and it was city built in commemoration of Rama and worship Surya as well as Vishnu. Therefore, Si Tep and Ayodhya were the same city. And this is the town plan of Ayutthaya. And if you notice, on this side used to be the older city known as Ayodhya. Is the Thai writing name as Ayodhya. And this is Ayutthaya. But actually, my suggestion is Ayutthaya moved from Si Tep, right? And then to this area, which is closer to the sea for the purpose of trading. Therefore, the whole people of Si Tep moved down to Ayutthaya in some point in the history. And in Ayutthaya, these are two main figures, and I think Anita must be familiar with this. This is Vishnu and Lakshmi in Ayutthaya art. So what's suggested here, even if Thailand had become a Buddhist country, but we never left Rama and Vishnu alone. We still worship Vishnu and another god as well as Shiva alongside with Buddha. And just yesterday, I went to take photos specially for this webinar. And this temple is known as Wat Praram, which means Sri Rama temple. Well, the history said it was constructed in commemoration of the first king of Ayutthaya, King Rama Tipadi I. Again, King Rama Tipadi I. Right? We used the name Rama for our first king of Ayutthaya, and it was constructed by his son, King Rameshwara, another Rama, right? But could it derive from Parameshwara? I'm not sure. It's just my observation. Around 13th and 14th century. Well, most of people in history in Thailand believe this was a Buddhist temple, but I have a very strange feeling. I think it wasn't constructed purely for the Buddhism. I think it was constructed also as a shrine of Rama somehow, but I still have to find out more and research more into this. And this is the main prang, or the main sanctuary. Again, it looked exactly like a Khmer architecture, because Ayutthayan people in the early Ayutthaya period, they were of Khmer and Mon origin. So they took the architecture and they modified the shape a bit, right? And personally, I believe probably if there had been a Vishnu statue, he could have been in the center. But later on, when Buddhism became very prosperous, especially when we sent the monk to study in Shinagan, came back, probably the temple was converted into a Buddhist function instead, just like Angkor Wat, which used to be Balom Vishnu Loka. Right. On this plan, I would like to point out to you this part, right? And this is what left of Garuda. So Garuda figure is on this building, right? As well as Naga here. So when we see Naga and Garuda, immediately we can relate them to Vishnu right away. So I'm not surprised to see Garuda and Naga on this building, since it is Rama temple. And next to this temple is a swamp known as Bung Praram, or Param swamp, or reservoir. Again, it's the swamp or the reservoir of Rama. And this is how it looked like yesterday. So the swamp is considered a sacred water source for Ayutthaya as well. And when the king, even the recent coronation ceremony, they had to take water from this swamp and place the water as auspicious water for the king. And this pediment is in Ayutthaya National Museum, and probably one of the oldest piece I've ever seen. Maybe there's some other more in Ayutthaya art, and it depicts the scene where Sugriva fighting with Kumbhakarna, right? And he's hitting Kumbhakarna with his tree trunk, right? And this pediment used to be one of the decorate one of the Khmer style stupa in Mahathat temple. So next thing I would like to explain to you about Siamese performing art. But Monsieur de la Loubert, the envoy of the French king Louis XIV, when he came to Thailand, he wrote in his journal that there were three main performances performed by Thai people. The first one is known as Khon, the second one is Lakon, and the last one is Rabam. Right, the Khon is a mass play, drama and dance, and Lakon is just a play, and Rabam is group dance. Khon, many people argue where this term come from, and I know that probably some of you may have known that we and our neighbor try to claim that we are origin of this kind of dance, but actually Khon from my research is very old term for Thai, and it doesn't mean that the mask is used for Ramayana performance only. It used deliberately in everything. Everything is with mask, we call that Khon or Khon mask, right? And originally, Thai people in southern China, the Thai race used Khon mask to depict their ancestral spirit. Now, when they had a kind of a festival relating to animism, to worship the ancestor, some people would have worn their mask and pretend that they are ancestors who came back to visit their family members. But after that, in the Ayutthaya period, when we start to learn about Hinduism and Ramayana, we borrow the mask and use the mask for performance, right? That's why Khon emerged first time in Ayutthaya, and we call it Khon just because it used mask. Right? And this is how Khon performance look like these days, right? The costume actually developed through time, right? In Ayutthaya, you would have seen these people shirtless, so they are topless. They expose the top part naked, and they only adorn the bottom part. But in late Ayutthaya period to early Bangkok period, we start to develop and we start to put shirt and short sleeve on top of that. But I'm not going to go into details of that because it would take a very long time. Right? And this is Lakhon, right? Lakhon mostly performed by all male as well. Like you can see all these people, they are male performers, right? And they perform as women, right? Lakhon normally they usually depict the local story, like local mythology or tales and so on, right? So Khon and Lakhon were different things, right? Khon performed mostly according to religious purpose, royal ceremony, but Lakhon performed just for entertainment, right? And this is Rabam. So Rabam is just a group dance, and it dance just to show the beauty of movement and figures, and there's no meaning in it. Or if there's meaning, it's very a few meaning in it. Maybe it's just to bless somebody, or for a happy occasion. And this is mirror painting depicting Khon performance, right? You can see that this person was wearing mask. His hands is still a human hand, right? And this is the episode when the Rishi Goputra took Hanuman, and he was deceived by Hanuman. That Hanuman want to pledge loyalty to Ravana. So that's when they argue. And on the left, this is mirror painting from Vasutat. Right? It depicts the scene. This is one of the popular episode in Ramakian dance, Ramakian Khon performance, which doesn't appear in Ramayana. The story goes like Indrajit, at one stage, he wants to deceive Lakshmana and the army of Rama. So he disguised himself as Indra. And then when he had a proper spot, he shot Brahmashatra from sky and killed everyone in Lakshmana, including Lakshmana. Actually injure them, not really kill them. And Hanuman was the only one who escaped the arrow. So he jumped into the sky and fought with Indrajit in Indra disguise. And this is mirror painting. And this is the mirror painting depicting the Khon, where they actually put the sling on this elephant and perform like a floating from the sky, try to narrate the picture from the scene for this audience. And that was in the actual performance, royal Khon performance some years ago, the same episode. And you can see Lakshman was shot by the arrow, and Indrajit in Indra disguise, he's on the elephant, Erawan elephant. Right. Well, Khon and Lakhon is different thing. And what I would like to explain to you, which many people may not agree with me. The Khon performance you see this day is Lakhon. If in percentage, I would say 95% is Lakhon, is not Khon. because corn was very sacred. Corn was something, according to Prince Damrong Rachanupap, he suggests that corn was introduced to the royal court of Ayutthaya by the Hindu Brahmin. And it was the way to convey the teaching as well as to commemorate the grace of Thai king as the avatar of Vishnu. So it was performed only before the king. And if you try to associate it with the Kathakali, and which used to be known as Rama Kathak, it was the same meaning. Actually, personally, I believe corn performance was inspired by Kathakali in a way, because it was Kathakali would have been performed in front of a sanctuary and in front of a deity. And if it narrated the story of Rama, it would have been performed in front of Rama temple and to commemorate Rama inside the sanctuary. But in this case in Thailand, instead of having a statue of Rama, we have a living Rama, which is the king, who sit and watch the performance that commemorate himself as Rama, right? So it's the same idea. And it was performed mostly by soldiers. Right? Soldiers would perform the battle scene. Well, the Laluban said, when he saw corn performance in King Narai reign, it was only a battling scene. There's nothing else, nothing drama in that. That's why all soldiers perform as monkeys or asura and fought against each other. But later on, when ordinary people saw corn performance and they start to know more about story of Ramayana, which later came to ordinary people through dancing. I mean, to a play. And in our chronicle, it's mentioned that the story of Ramayana as play came from Java. But people still argue this day whether Javas mean Malaysia or Indonesia. It could be both. So I think the story of Ramayana as a play performance came mostly from Java, not from India. But the story of Rama and Ramayana and belief and sacredness of Rama, it came a lot earlier since the Mon people came here. So in Ayutthaya, given corn performance or Rakon performance, Rama was very still sacred and well worshipped by ordinary people. It is believed that still this day, Yamasador, the Burmese performance in Burma, they still enshrine Rama mask in a shrine, and they have to pray to Rama every time before they perform. And but in Thailand, Ramayana or Ramakiri's performance has become just performance for entertainment only. So we lost the sacredness of that. Okay. But anyway, in Thailand, we still have this kind of performance surviving as lakon. You can see the performance speak for themselves. This is a very old kind of lakon in Ramayana as well, right? Okay, so to conclude this, I would say in Ayutthaya period, Ramayana in Siam was still, although a kind of entertainment, whether to the king or the ordinary people, but it was a lot more worship and celebrated than nowadays. Because in Bangkok period, it became just merely entertainment, and a lot of essence in the story had been lost. And it is evidently explained by King Rama I at the end of his play script like this. At the end of Ramakirti play script written by King Rama I, he said, "The royal composed Ramakirti is merely His Majesty's effort to record the ancient tale, not for anyone in search for ethics, but royal intent for celebration of the new kingdom. Whoever had listened to it, be sure not to fall into its drama. Rather, be wise in realizing the impermanence of life," which very Buddhist is, And hence every written letters from the beginning to the end has been completed with flawless joy. So to shorten it, he just said, don't get too serious about Ramayana in what he's written in his prescript. It's just for entertainment, it's nothing else. But actually, this is because the king himself came from ordinary people, and he was not the direct descendant of a Ayutthayan king. Therefore, he tried to restore Ramayana just as a symbol of kingship and nothing more than that. Right. Anyway, although we have lacked the knowledge and respect to Rama as we had before in the Ayutthaya period, I just like to show you this. This is my last slide. This is a structure of Thai architecture, right? And this is the pediment, right? And this part, when you see this, you immediately know this is Thai architecture, right? But this part represents Garuda. This part represents the Naga. This is Naga head, right? Garuda on top of Naga, it could be nothing else but the symbol of Vishnu. And nobody really noticed this is symbol Vishnu. We just think this is decoration. But deeply, without knowing it, we still have Vishnu in our culture until the present day. So I'm sorry for taking a bit long for that. So thank you very much.
You can stop sharing the screen now. So thank you so much. Both of you have given a wonderful description of Ramayana and the arts. I have a question, and it's a question that I had, but somebody else has, Mr. D.V. Sridharan has also asked the same question. Lot of the artifacts that you have shown are all broken. Is it just because of the passage of time, or were they destroyed?
May I say something?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, I think two things happen. One is the time and some type of, the natural destruction. That's a one cause. And then again, there is what just Akarin shows us that in the Srithe, all the sun deities, all the murtis, that was just beneath the road. Okay. So there is the changes of the royalties, and there is the changes of the values and the beliefs. So from the Khmer, those are the Shaiva. That's the thing, that Shaivas and the Vaishnavas, the sect is changed. And then again, when Buddhism came, so there is always a target to damage those things that will be directly damage to your beliefs. What I feel, I think it's Akarin also okay with this thing. Yeah.
So is that also what you say, Akarin?
Yes. Like the Sitem is very, very clear example of how Vaishnavism has vanished from this region. And also Buddhism, I'm not saying that Buddhism is trying to destroy or anything, but when the Mon people, when they came here to this region, they brought two religions with them, Hinduism with the Vaishnavites sect, and also Buddhism. But later on, even in from my hometown in Lana region, it used to be Dvaravati kingdom before, known as Haripanchya kingdom. And Hari Panchaya is obviously it was named after the conch of Vishnu. But later on, when the Buddhist monk was sent to study Buddhism in Sri Lanka and came back, they came with a very pure Buddhist thought. So all of the artifacts relating to Hinduism, if some of them survived, but most of them have been gone. Some god like Ganesha still exists even in Hinduism, in Buddhism, right? And as a god of arts, but the other deities is gone. Some years ago, I visited one of the temple, and actually they found artifacts of Ganesha and Parvati and so on. But the story goes like, when they found this artifact, they hurriedly bury everything underneath the altar of the Buddha, because the monk didn't want anybody to realize that Hari Panchaya was a Hindu kingdom as well. So that kind of feeling in some part was still strong, but that's changing, and people like my teacher, Dr. Principal Sukata, and the other friends of mine, and we are trying to change the mindset of people to accept that Hinduism was one prosper here, and there was nothing wrong with that. And Thai people these days, we are not pure Buddhists anyway. We worship Hindu gods as well as our ancestral spirit. So that should be acceptable. Right.
So when you say you worship ancestor spirit, it's a part of the Hindu culture also that we may not worship the ancestor spirit in the way that you do, but we do pay obeisance to the ancestry.
Yeah.
So that's our Pitr Yagna or our Pitr Runam that we have to fulfill. So we do pray, but not in the way that you do. So it's, I guess, I mean, it's after all, Buddha did come from Sanathana Dharma. So Sanathana Dharma is all encompassing of all these, I won't call it religions, all these different paths that come under the same.
Yes.
So, I mean, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you have a Buddha and you have a Ganesha and you have a Lakshmi. So, so it seems quite okay. So, another question I had for you. Now, when you say you worship Hindu gods today, is that quite popular that, you know, people are still Hindu in their outlook in Thailand, or is it changing a lot?
I think, well, we when people ask us, the Thai people, what kind of religions you're worshiping, you practice, we like to say we are Buddhists, but very less the people really understand the essence of Buddhism this day, and we just Buddhists just because it is tradition. We're born a Buddhist, but actually we worship ranges of deity from different cultures, like and also the fact is Thai people now the makeup of so many races. Like myself, I'm half Chinese, and my mother came from Chiang Mai. She's Thai, and she's also of the Aboriginal Lawa race, and Lawa and Raman were very close race, and we speak a very similar language. We speak the language from the same language group. So we are pretty mixed up. And I think Thai people these days, we selectively worship Hindu gods for a different purpose. And more these days, the youngster and the new generation, they start to worship Hindu gods more. But what dangerous is, they worship Hindu gods just like they worship Buddha this day. They ask the Buddhas, or they ask the Hindu gods that worship to help them, but they don't really understand the essence of the teaching. And this is very dangerous, because then people will be obsessed about magical power and that kind of thing, but they don't understand what is the teaching of Hinduism and actually in Buddhism as well. Like if you ask those people who worship Ganesha, Shiva, or Vishnu, and they may even call themselves now Hindu these days, but if you ask them about moksha, they don't know what moksha is. And the same thing when people ask Thai people about nirvana, we cannot explain what nirvana is. I think that this is the trends going at the moment. Right?
I can say one thing in this matter. In our National Museum, Bangkok, we have a very big Ganesha. I think it is one of the biggest Ganesha in Thailand Museum. And it's very interesting that because in the National Museum, one side, there is Thammasat University and then Silpakorn University. And another side is the National Theatre. So whenever there is something, exam or something like that, some hurdle for the student, you can see in front of Ganesha, there is some type of, the flower, the money, and even sometime the sweet also in the museum.
Yes.
It's not a worshipping place, but they came and it is the easiest way for them because it's very so close to them. And that's why what Akarin said, it's a very perfect thing, because if you come to the Navaratri, not this Chaitra Navaratri, but it is the autumn Sharad Navaratri, you can see the Hindu temples are full of Thai. You cannot enter there. For them, the government closed the road. It's a 5 kilometers area which is worshipped by the Thai people. And they all have their own Kali, own Durga. And it's like a Kulu. The share of Kulu, they bring their own god to the temple. And when they sit in the roadside, they worship there. There are different type of magical things happen. And all the peoples are Thai. Indians, we are just watching from the so far. So this is the type of devotion. So the Thai culture is so much mixing. What Akarin said, that they derived from the Mon or Ramana or Chinese, but this is the nowadays, it's so much mixing of the Hinduism, Brahminism, and all those things. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, what Kun said is right, that there is a danger of it becoming a transactional relationship without a deeper understanding. But I guess that is the way of the world today, where everything is becoming a transactional relationship. Yeah, so let us see whether there are any other questions. Anita ji and Akaran ji, please start a tour of these regions for us. We would like to experience this.
We will be very happy. Please come.
Okay. And then it was wonderful lectures and very deep knowledge. Missed yesterday lectures. Okay. Anita ji written a book. What is the name of the book?
Yeah, it's a Ramayana Footprints in Southeast Asian Culture and Heritage. It was published by B Books. And it is available in all the social online media also, Amazon, Flipkart, Google Book. I try to give a gist of the Ramayana, how the Ramayana is still very effective in these countries. So I try to research on the 8 countries and show those things, try to read it. And there are lots of links also. If anyone want to do more research, they can do from my book.
Okay, thank you, Anita. There is one more question here. Ahiravana plays a major part in Southeast Asian art. Is that true? The story of Machanu, etc.
Sorry, the story of Machanu and Hanuman.
Yeah.
There's this is the part where Ramakirti or Ramakian goes down, because it was written for entertainment. And these days, many artists and many scholars try to associate Ramakian with Rama, the grace of Rama, and with the king. But I just showed you the last excerpt from the play script. even the king himself said, do not get too serious about that. So I don't really like the idea to associate Ramakian or Ramakirti with the sacredness of Rama, because if you really read through Ramakian, if you read Ramayana, you will feel like irritating, right? In some part, Rama in Ramakian acts very irrational, and he is not sensible at all in Ramakian, and he became a ruthless and no mercy in some case, like he ordered execution of Sita just because of jealousies, that kind of thing. And that is why I have the idea of trying to relate and try to pass on the right message from Ramayana to Thai people in the correct way and correct story, which means I would try to start using the original story from Valmiki in Ramayana to perform the Khon dance, because this idea is not new. The first person who tried to do this was King Rama VI. King Rama VI, he graduated from England, so he had accessibility to many of the original texts translated to English, like the Valmiki's Ramayana. So he had been trying to organize so many episodes basing on the original story, but Thai people just didn't get it because they were used to watching Hanuman as playboy and like a fighting scene, something like that. So he wasn't very successful at that time. But I hope with all the technology these days and people have more access to information, I think we can try to promote the true essence of Ramayana through Khon dance nowadays. But it's not easy. It's not easy, I tell you.
No, it's not easy.
So is this something that you are planning to do or trying?
Yes, I'm trying to do at the moment, like I just choreograph a dance basing on a sacred song in Thai dance and called Ramayatra, and I try to get the performers into a higher level and try to perform not as themselves, but try to send the message what the Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita try to tell people. So I don't know how far I could go, but not with the blazing of Rama. I'm still trying. Yes. Yeah.
So I pray that all strength to you.
Thank you very much.
I think that's why the recently Chulalongkorn University Asian Studies Center, they starting two things, because the director of Asian Centers, he said the same thing what Khun Akarin said, that the Thai people don't know their own originality, and from where all those stories, all those Vishnus, Shivas, all this is coming. So that's why they're starting the Tamil course, Tamil language course, and Bengali language course. Because inside the Thai language, there is not only the Pali, Sanskrit or Tamil, but there are a mixing of 1,000 words of the Bengalis. And that is very related because Bengal, Orissa is very close to Thailand. And there are so many things is related. So they try to, what you trying to do the proper Rama story. And I believe it very much that Khun Akarin, what we can do, we can teach them the essence of Ramayana at first. Because we almost judging always. There are 224,000 slokas in Ramayana, but we are stuck in that Rama abandoned his wife or the something like Agni Pariksha. We never listen about the other teaching. True. We don't go about that. How Rama loved Sita, we don't talk about that. So we are all that round and round and round on that point. So we have to know the essence of Ramayana, the darshan of Ramayana, and then we can do something. Vijay Lakshmiji, you are unmuted.
I said, I think that is the wokeism of the present day. So, yeah, it was wonderful. I think we need to have, a session where there's a lot more time for discussion. but we've already gone 18 minutes
Yeah.
past our time.
Sorry.
So thank you so much, both of you. And this was an absolutely wonderful session. So we will reach out to you, to have individual programs and also, do some interviews of both of you. I think Anita has already been interviewed. So Akarin, we'll reach out to you for that. And let us see, if we could do something to, bring that originality of the Ramayana back to Thai culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's my dream. I wish I could accomplish something before I die.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, once the intention is there, I'm sure it will go forward. So
Can I tell you something, some miracle thing that happened to me?
yes.
Yeah, this one, you don't have to believe me, but this happened to me like almost 20 years ago. I was in London in an underground station, and there was a conductor, and he was a British Indian, right? And suddenly he approached me and he asked me where they come from, and I said, I'm from Thailand. And he asked me, without knowing that I know anything about Ramayana, and he asked me, do you know Ramayana? I said, yes, of course. I perform Ramaki and I perform the Khon dance. And he says, very well. I'm translating Ramayana, and one is finished. I'm going to give it to you. I said, wow, wonderful. Thank you very much. And with that, after he said that, he just left me. At least this conversation never happened before. But anyway, I took it as a kind of auspicious sign. And I think I have been given some kind of task to do something about this.
Yeah, of course.
So that's the story I'd like to share.
So all strength to you.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that we can do to help you, please do reach out to us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we will end with a small chant.
Yes.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Tomorrow we have a talk on the footsteps of Rama by Vikrant Pandey and Abhinav Agarwal of Indica Books. So we'd love for you all to be there, and it will be most interesting because they're going to trace the entire journey of Rama from Ayodhya all the way down to Lanka.
Wow. It's very
Thank you
interesting.
so much
Well,
to
thank you very
Vijayalakshmi
much.
ji for giving us this opportunity to say something about Rama. And thank you so much, Akarin, also to
Thank
joining
you very much,
this program.
Anita. And
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So
So,
thank you so much, Arunima, too. Okay.
Thank you, Kunaruni. Thank you.
Yeah, with your permission, we'll end the meeting now.